Hello, this is the Part-Time Economist, and today we're going to be reviewing Gary Chapman's book, The 5 Love Languages. Now, why is this important? Suppose that you are traveling in an international airport and you speak English, you meet a man who speaks only Chinese, and you're trying to tell him directions, you're trying to help him out. It doesn't matter if you're the most eloquent, concise speaker, you're not going to be able to get your message across to this man. All of your efforts are going to be in vain because you speak two different languages. And Gary Chapman puts forth the idea that there are essentially 5 different love languages, 5 ways that people show and receive love from their partners. And if you're putting all this effort into loving your partner a certain way, so let's say that you are constantly giving affirmations, telling them how important they are, telling them how beautiful, how charming, how smart they are, you may be putting a lot of effort into loving them, but if that's not their preferred language, if they are someone who instead feels love by acts of service, then your efforts are going to feel like they're wasted. You're not going to see the benefit in your relationship. So let's start off first off. What are the 5 languages? They are giving affirmations. This is encouraging our spouse. This is telling them how much they mean to us. The second, there's acts of service. This is doing things. This is helping out around the house. The third is gifts. This doesn't necessarily have to be expensive things that you buy, but it can be simple things. Giving to the other person to show our love. There is quality time. This is spending time with the other person. This is doing stuff where you're focusing just on them. It shows them that you're important because you're giving up time. Time that you can never get back. And then the last is physical touch, which is, of course, self-explanatory. Now, in the book, Dr. Chapman gives advice for how to show love in each of the 5 different languages, but that's not what I want to cover here. Instead, I want to give 3 main takeaways from the book that can be applied to relationships in general. Now, the first of these is the difference between encouragement and judgment, right? So, let me start off with the passage from the book. Please note that I am not talking about pressuring your spouse to do something that you want. I am talking about encouraging him to develop an interest that he already has. For example, some husbands pressure their wives to lose weight. The husband says, I am encouraging her, but to the wife it sounds like condemnation. Only when a person wants to lose weight can you give her encouragement. Until she has the desire, your words fall into the category of preaching. These words are heard as judgment. They are not expressing love, but rejection. So what this means is that, let's say your spouse has a desire to go back to school, and they say, hey, I want to go back to school, and you support them, you help them wake up, you help them study, you are supporting them, you're encouraging them. Now, on the other hand, let's say that they didn't express this desire, and instead you just come up to them, hey, when are you going back to school? Hey, you need to go make something of yourself. Hey, you need to be somebody. Because they didn't have that desire, your words are seen as condemnation because you're forcing them to do something that they didn't want to do. So that's the first takeaway from the book, is helping our partners reach a desire that they already have instead of trying to push one of our desires onto them. Now, the second thing that I want to talk about is going to be the difference between requests and demands. So let me start off with the passage from the book, and then we will explain it. We cannot get emotional love by way of demand. My spouse may in fact comply with my demands, but it is not an expression of love. It is an act of fear or guilt or some other emotion, but not love. Thus, a request creates the possibility for an expression of love, whereas a demand suffocates that possibility. So, what does this mean? Let's use an example. Let's say that your wife cooks an amazing pumpkin pie, and it's been a very long time since you've had this pumpkin pie, right? If you come home one day and you said, wow, I've not had pumpkin pie in forever, someone doesn't love me. Or, if you loved me, you would make me this. Or, if you were a good wife, you would cook dinner for me. That is a demand. Right? We're telling them, hey, you need to do this. You need to do this. And if they comply, it's not because they love us, it's because we ordered them to do something. We were telling them, you have to do this. But if we request something, it leaves the option of choice. And that's the important thing about love, is that it's freely given. So if we order someone to do it, and they do it, it's mere compliance. But if we leave them the choice, say, hey, I would really love some pumpkin pie, you make it and it's amazing. We're giving them the choice to satisfy our desires, or we're giving them the option that they can not satisfy our desires. So without the ability to choose, we can't genuinely express love. And then the third topic that I want to talk about is quality time. Now, quality time isn't just being together, as the author does a really good job of explaining. Let me read. A central aspect of quality time is togetherness. I do not mean proximity. Togetherness has to do with focused attention. So, there's nothing wrong with sitting on the couch together watching TV. Perfectly fine. But you can't consider that quality time because the focus is on the TV, not the other person. If we're giving someone quality time, we're giving them undivided attention. We're saying that whatever else is going on in the world, for 10 minutes, for 15 minutes, whatever, you have my attention. You are so important to me that I'm going to give up 10 minutes of time, which is life, right? Time is life. I'm giving up this time because I want to give it to you. And that's the important thing about the quality time, is you're giving the attention to that other person. You're not sitting there texting. You're not on Facebook while they're trying to tell you about their day. You are giving that attention to them. So again, those are the three big takeaways that I have from the book. If you want to learn more about the 5 love languages, you can read the book. You can see how to show love in each of these different ways, depending on what way your partner feels love and what way you are best at giving love. Now, in closing, let's just review really quickly. 1, we should encourage our partners to pursue desires that they already have. We shouldn't try to force what we want upon them and call it encouragement. Secondly, we need to request things instead of demanding. By offering a request instead of a demand, we give our partners the option of choice. Since love is freely given, it can't exist in the absence of choice. And then third, we need to focus on quality time. We need to make time to give our partners undivided attention. This shows them that we care. Again, this is a really good book. If you have the free time, I would recommend reading it, because the thing is, I think everyone wants to please their partners. We want to show love. But if we're showing it in the wrong ways, it's going to frustrate us because we're putting forth all this effort and we're feeling like it's in vain. We're feeling like it's landing on unfertile soil, if you will. So this book will help you show how to focus your efforts so that your partner can appreciate the love that you're trying to show. This has been the Part-Time Economist, and we will see you next time.